Hi, Mark here, and you're tuning in to session number 25 of the Epic Personal Trainer podcast. So today I thought we would take like a step back from all the marketing and the strategy and get down to some basics. And I wanted to ask a question. And it's a question I ask pretty much every interview that we do at Invictus during our hiring process. And that question is, what makes a great personal trainer? Or rather now, what makes an epic personal trainer? So here's a couple of my thoughts on this, and I hope you find it useful. So let's get started. Now, first up, when I ask this question about what makes a great trainer in an interview, the most common answer I get back is knowledge. As a personal trainer, you have clients that are putting their bodies, their health, and their trust on your shoulders. And, you're there to help them reach whatever their goal is. So obviously, as a trainer, you need to know what you're on about. And just knowing, how to lift, for example, is not enough. That makes you a great lifter and a great champion, maybe, which is amazing. But being a trainer is a different skill set that requires some level of additional specialized training. Now, to be a great trainer with a lot of knowledge, it doesn't always mean having to collect high level certifications or even lots of certifications. But you can gain really valuable knowledge and experience from mentorships, from working with other great coaches, or even self study when you do it in the right way. As a trainer, you're going to need knowledge on anatomy and physiology and movement and common injuries and nutrition and a whole lot more. And that requires some study, some research, and for sure, a lot of learning. It means trying to stay up to date with the latest info coming out of the industry because this is above and beyond what your peers are doing, since most trainers just don't bother with this. But you do. So you're always going to help your clients in the best way possible. But the one area of knowledge that is often missing is the knowledge on how to teach. So, for example, you might know how to squat or deadlift, but do you know how to effectively teach someone to do these things? You might know what nutrition plan to give a client, but can you teach your client to follow and stick to it day in and day out? Teaching is having the tools to educate your client and have them take action on the instructions that you're giving them. Your knowledge from your courses give you the details to give great instructions, but your knowledge of teaching or coaching is what's going to get your client to take action and actually do these things consistently. And to do that really well as a trainer, you're going to need some skills and ability for the next point on today's list. So next up is communication skills. One of the biggest parts of being a personal trainer is knowing how to work with people. While having a ton of knowledge is great and obviously beneficial, you're going to need to be able to apply that knowledge in a meaningful way. And that means working with people, your clients, to make those changes and to be consistent. So consistency, as you probably already know, is one of the most important areas for you to work with clients to help them succeed. Because no matter what you know, no matter what you tell a client to do, unless they actually do it, they're never going to get anywhere. And this is an area I think we as trainers are probably lacking overall. It's that kind of mental, even psychological side of what it takes to reach a goal that's going to make such a massive difference. The change in habits, the change in routines is one thing, and that's hard enough sometimes. But it's that change in beliefs and perceptions, and in some cases, identity, that can be a real big thing for clients to overcome. Now, some trainers kind of have this skill naturally, and they're great with people. They just have this way with people that helps clients make these changes, which in turns help them to keep coming back to the gym and working their ass off and reaching their goals. But for most trainers, it's probably not natural. It takes practice, which means, a lot of work and gaining experience where you can reach a point where you're talking to your clients in the right way to create the right mindset and the environment for success. So remember, good communication skills includes quite a lot, your body language, how you listen, having empathy, and using the right words at the right time to affect your clients in the right way. Easier said than done, right? But that is what it comes down to. And all these things come together to create this mindset in your client to help them reach their full potential every small step along the way. And it's those small steps that keep you making progress week in, week out. And the small successes of reaching each of these steps that's going to keep you and your client going and having fun along the way. Right. Third up on this week's list is trainers having leadership skills. Now, I'm not talking about some army general level of leadership, but a trainer does need to have enough presence and authority with a client to be able to lead a session. Now, I've seen a lot of trainers lose that level of control over a session, and clients will start to dictate everything by going off plan and just telling the trainer, I want to do this exercise or that exercise for today's workout. And first off, proper personal trainers will always be working from a plan that's carefully created where everything on it can be justified as a way to help their clients reach their specific goal. Now, going off that plan means you're not working towards that goal anymore, at least not in a specific way. And by letting a client dictate this stuff means that you've lost control and the client is probably not doing what needs to be done. To lead a session well, your client needs to see you as the expert. They need to see that you are credible and that they need to believe in you. This creates this kind of level of trust and respect and confidence that what you say and what you ask them to do is actually going to help them along the way to reaching their goals. Now, I guess you've heard, the old question about what is the best diet? And with this question, the actual answer is never keto or fasting or anything like that. The best diet is the one that you can stick to. And the best training program is the one that you can stick to. Shocker. Now, once a client can stick to something, then you can start to optimize it because you're getting back data and feedback from a structured plan. And if you just have this mishmash of training with no real consistency, then any kind of data you get back is just going to be mush. You can't make any decisions based on it because nothing will be clear about what is working or not. So going off plan is obviously the opposite of sticking to something. And if your client is trying to go off plan for some reason, they just don't enjoy the plan, then it's down to you to first listen, then to understand the issues your client has so that then you can make the changes needed to keep them sticking to a new plan that still helps them reach their goal. So it's down to you, not the client, to make the changes. Now, next on the list for today's session is that you need to be passionate. But I'm not talking about a passion for lifting or for working out, right? I mean, that is important again, but lifting and working out isn't what you actually do as a trainer. The training session is for your client, not you. So what you need to be passionate about is actually teaching and helping people. It's very different and very important. And wanting to truly help people is what's going to keep you going when things get tough, when the hours sometimes get long, or you need to go that extra mile to help a client to help bump them along to the next obstacle in their path. Clients pick up on your passion a lot more than you realize. They will feed off it, which will also help you with the previous point actually about getting clients to stick to the program and be consistent. But putting your own mindset to one of service is a great way to approach things. To build relationships, to be as helpful as possible to your clients, to help them get over obstacles is what will help you grow your business. If you put yourself in service, the money will follow. It's the kind of authentic approach you have when you just truly give a shit about your clients. In interviews, passion is the most common answer. When I ask someone why you became a trainer or why you want to be a trainer, passion is what I get back. But you know what? When I ask about the last fitness book they read or podcast they listened to or even YouTube video they watched, I quite often get nothing. So I ask, well, what was the last thing you learned about, how to be a better trainer? Many will say it was when they were on their CPT course, their personal trainer certification course, which just happens to be 1 or 2 years ago. So for me, there's a disconnect. If you're really passionate about something, you're going to really immerse yourself in it. You're going to be reading everything you can find or listening or watching everything you can find to help you be better, to gain more knowledge or skills. And I call this passion work. The extra work you do, not because you have to, but because you love to, because you need to, and you have this kind of inner drive to do so. And you're going to do this in your free time because you actually find it fun to do. And you're going to discover, thought leaders in your industry. You're going to get a wide scope of knowledge because you find it interesting. And you're going to do all this and you're going to take it and go above and beyond to help your client to do what they need to do to get results. So, that is what a passionate person does. So are you really truly passionate or do you just tell yourself that? Now, what I know is that you are passionate because you're listening to this podcast. So we both know that you are putting in that passion work. So keep it going, keep putting in the passion work, but make sure you're putting it into action. So it's not just knowledge in your head, it's knowledge that will help all your clients make the changes that they desire in the best way possible. All right, so there you have it. That's today's session. I know there is a bunch of other things, we could have added, and we could have created a much larger list of what makes an epic trainer, but I wanted to boil it down to just a few, because if you have these few, then all these other things kind of fall in place. These are the core elements that go into making an epic trainer. Now, what I would really appreciate to do is just to think of one person that you can share this episode. It will really help us spread the word and help as many trainers as possible. And if you want to share this on social media, my handle is @MarkDevaney on Instagram. And I wanted to finish up just by letting you know about the new free community. It's a safe place for like-minded personal trainers to come and shoot the shit about, getting started or improving their personal trainer business, your personal trainer business. It's a place to come and ask questions and get some answers or suggestions and feedback. And if you're a trainer that wants to grow your business and believes that, we can make the most improvements to our own businesses and the industry by working together, then this is the place for you. You can get in, like I said, for free. It's a new free forever plan. So by going to the website, www.epicpersonaltrainer.com/community, you can get in there. There will also be a link in the show notes for this session, which is session number 25. And you can even get there actually by visiting the link on my bio page on Instagram. All right. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate you. And I hope to see you for next week's session. Take care of yourself.